Georgie and Mandy's First Marriage's title gives viewers a clue to the show's unusual story. Like How I Met Your Mother, the sitcom is effectively a love story told in reverse. In young Sheldon's finale, Mandy and Georgie are happily married and beginning to build a life for themselves with their baby Cece. In The Big Bang Theory Season 11, Episode 23, The Sibling Realignment, an older, more bitter Georgie mentioned an ex-wife in passing. Despite the sadness, one of the show's stars pointed out that this development makes perfect sense. Numerous young Sheldon characters made a comeback to continue Georgie and Mandy's narrative in Season 1 of Georgie and Mandy's First Marriage. Mima's latest gambling plan demonstrated that she never really learnt from her incarceration for operating an illegal betting room in young Sheldon Season 7. Mary, meanwhile, was more difficult to get along with because of her growing religiosity. In a similar vein, Georgie's disobedient sister Missy persisted in having arguments with her mother, Mary, which indirectly paved the way for Missy's turbulent life path throughout The Big Bang Theory. The eponymous star of young Sheldon was the only main character absent, and it was understandable why. Sheldon was the main character of young Sheldon, and by the end of The Big Bang Theory, the main character of that program as well. It would have been simple for Sheldon to overshadow Georgie and Mandy's story because of his large personality, which tends to dominate proceedings. The best episode of Georgie and Mandy's First Marriage Season 1 actually demonstrated that Mandy's younger brother Connor, the show's breakout star, ultimately outperformed the titular couple. Therefore, it made sense to keep Sheldon out of the spotlight while the audience was becoming engrossed in Georgie and Mandy's story. However, Sheldon's absence is also justified by an in-universe plot. According to Sheldon in The Sibling Realignment, he and his older brother have been embroiled in a multi-decade feud for years and have stopped communicating as a result. Although the exact moment of Sheldon and Georgie's separation is unknown, their disagreement stems from their responses to their father's passing. Reagan Reverd, who plays Missy, told People that Sheldon's return in Season 2 of Georgie and Mandy's First Marriage wouldn't really make sense because of this. That would be a lot of fun, but I feel like because they're sticking to the Big Bang Theory lore and everything, because the whole thing in the Big Bang Theory is Georgie and Sheldon don't talk, because they kind of have a rift between them after George dies, according to Reverd. I feel like it wouldn't make sense for Sheldon to come back if they're sticking to that, Reverd continued, and the actor is correct to point out this contradiction. Even though Sheldon's return would be entertaining, it wouldn't make much sense because Sheldon and Georgie need time apart to develop their mutual contempt. By concentrating on a new main character in Season 2, Georgie and Mandy's First Marriage is obviously unable to replicate the Big Bang Theory's most successful formula shift. The show cannot abruptly shift its focus from Georgie and Mandy to Missy or Connor because the title of the series already identifies its main characters. However, as Reverd points out, young Sheldon and Georgie and Mandy's First Marriage have previously discovered ways to snarl about continuity. But with so many ongoing plots and Connor already replacing Sheldon as the show's resident endearing oddball, there's no reason for the show to make room for Sheldon's return. Sheldon's presence would be a distraction at this stage of the series because of Connor's presence, as well as the show's efforts to make Georgie and Mandy an engaging couple of protagonists. Viewers already have a lot of characters to follow, and they require more screen time than a character who has already starred in 2 different sitcoms. Remember to like, share, and subscribe to my channel for more videos.